Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So I'm sure you guys have all heard by now. Jerome Powell, the head of the US Federal Reserve, announced that the feds are not going to be cutting interest rates because the Federal Reserve Board decided that there's an issue. We have a Houston, we have a problem. They're going to leave the rates where they are because they expect to see an increased inflation rate and a slowing economy in the coming months. The worst of both worlds. And Powell specifically cited Donald Trump's ridiculous tariffs as the reason for the slowing economy and the rising inflation. This is, as I said, what he's describing is the worst of the worst. It's the worst scenario, which is stagflation. And so this is spooking big business. And Market Watch news outlet reported that U.S. companies keep using a word in particular to describe this period. They keep saying uncertainty. Should keep using this word. I think they do know what it means. So they use this to describe the market, the days ahead. And in Market Watch, they wrote, quote, General Motors is fine-tuning its supply chain to absorb the impact of tariffs, but it won't spend large amounts of capital without more clarity. Chief Executive Mary Barra told investors on the car giant's most recent earnings call. Executives at lumber supplier Builders First Source observed that uncertainty around potential policy changes is leading to builders to pull back from construction of single-family homes. So interest rates, to remain relatively high, fewer new homes being built. But, tell me again how Trump is going to make housing more affordable and, bring the costs down and build more homes for people. But here's the thing. We don't have to worry because Trump, the soother in chief that he is, he allayed all of our fears. Take a look.
What can you say to Americans tonight who are concerned about the possibility of a recession, given the fact that you're trying to reorient the economy to a manufacturing economy again?
I think if I didn't get elected, our country would be finished to start off with. And I think now that I did get elected, I think we're going to have the strongest economy in the history of the world. And I had that economy in 4 years, with all the harassment, with all the crazy people after me, with all of the things that went on, even with COVID. I had the strongest economy in the history of our country. I had a stock market that went up 88%. 88%, number one in history. The other markets went up 66%, and I think like 71%.
Will we see a recession in 2025? Are you ruling it out?
We're going to have the strongest economic country in the history of the world, of the planet.
So that, of course, was a Fox News interview with Laura Ingraham. And there you go. No need to fear, guys, because we're going to have the strongest economy in the history of the planet. He seriously sounds like a little kid trying to describe his best dessert that he's ever had. He's like, and then we had this giant cookie. It was the biggest, it was the bestest cookie in the whole wide world. It was bigger than my head. It was like bigger than the moon. That's him. That's you. That's what you sound like. That is what it's like dealing with this guy. And even a Fox News poll shows that Trump's scores on the economy are tanking hard. Like they are going down. I'm just going to say it. They're going down like Melania at a billionaires conference. I said it. I said what I said. Now, of course, they failed to mention this major issue. They did not mention anything about his economic numbers in their coverage of their own poll. But here's a screenshot from this poll. This was released last week, toward the end of the week, and this was conducted just this month. So when they asked respondents, do you agree with Trump's handling of the economy? 43% approve, 56% disapprove. This is Fox News, guys. And then check out this next one on his handling of inflation. 40% approve, 58% disapprove on how he's handling inflation. And then they also asked on a scale of excellent, good, only fair, and poor, how would you rate economic conditions today? 40% said economic conditions are only fair, and 39% said they are poor. So a combined 79% think the economic conditions in the US are either poor to fair. Only 4% said economic conditions are excellent. 17% said good. He is failing. Also, the majority of respondents think it's either very or somewhat likely that we're headed into a recession this year. Not good for the outlook. 33% said very likely. 38% said somewhat likely. And in regard to the way that he's treating Canada, which of course includes these insane tariffs, look at these numbers. They are just brutal. Only 37% approve of the way he's dealing with Canada, 60% disapprove. And even when they asked about Mexico and how he's dealing with them, 45% approval, 53% disapproval. So he's even underwater there. And when they asked Fox about the tariffs in general, not on a specific country, but in general, do you agree with imposing the tariffs? A majority, 53% of the respondents said they think that they hurt the economy. Only 28% said that they help the economy. Clearly don't understand. And then there was a lobotomized 11% that said these make no difference at all. Tariffs make no difference in the economy. So yeah, he is not fooling everyone. He's fooling some of these people, but not everyone. So again, that was the result from a Fox News poll. And Trump will have you believe, oh well, Fox is all, their polls are always, against me, blah 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 blah. Not true. Not true. Because he did have some good numbers in there, but as far as the economy goes, yeah, they're not good. And this is exactly what we've been seeing in every poll. I've been sharing all of these with you guys so that you can see there is a trend here. This is not just a one-off. This isn't an anomaly. This is across the board in every poll. He is tanking in regard to the economy and inflation in particular, which is why he was elected, which is why so many swing voters and first-time voters held their nose and voted for him in the first place. And I've seen comments from people and I've heard people say, oh, what does it matter? He won, he's the president, and, who cares what the polls say now? The reason this is so crucial and the reason this is important is because if enough of his voters turn against him, then they will start putting pressure on the Republican lawmakers and not the pressure they've been getting. Up until now, they've been getting the MAGA pressure of you need to support Trump no matter what he does, you need to go along with it. If they start getting the majority of the pressure from people who are not happy with him, then there will be a permission structure created for them to start speaking out against him and start voting against him, more importantly. So maybe they will actually take some action and go, hey, the things he's doing right now are in violation of our Constitution. They are illegal. So yeah, it does matter. It really does matter. And, as I've said before, if enough pressure is brought to bear on them, they may even take the, unicorn view and unicorn action of impeaching him and removing him from office. So this is why this is a good thing. This is why I hope, I don't want people to get hurt And that's the only downside, is that a lot of people are going to get hurt by this. But it is the only leverage at this point. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. If you can donate, truly appreciate it. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.